Now we're going to be looking about logical operations, and we're going to start with our if statement. Now, an if statement is a type of statement that is used to determine if an expression is true or let's put it this way, okay? An if statement is used when you want to have an argument and an expression that is being executed if such an argument is true, okay? Like for instance, first of all, let me do a save as here, and now we're talking of if.php. I'll save that, and I'm gonna delete this. So we have we can say today is Monday. Today is Monday. Okay, so if today is Monday, say I love Monday. Okay, but if it's not Monday, do nothing. That is if statement. Okay, so let's quickly look at how that works in PHP. So you use the word if, then you open a bracket. Now what goes inside the bracket becomes the argument of the bracket. Okay, so let's say if 1 is equal to 2, then you open a curly brace and close a curly brace. Now the argument goes into the curly brace. Okay, sorry, the statement goes into the curly brace. The argument goes into the bracket while the statement goes into the curly brace. Now let's say if 1 is equal to 2, now what will you do? Echo I love this number. Okay, now let's save this and see what we're going to get in our browser. So let's say if.php error on line 7. Let's see what is happening there. Okay, sorry, the equal to sign in PHP is not 1 equal to. The 1 equal to means assignment. Okay, it's used to assign a value to a variable. Okay, so the equal to sign in PHP is double equal to. That's my bad, sorry about that. So now let's refresh and say, you see it did nothing because 1 is not equal to 2, so it did not echo what I asked it to. But in some cases, now let's delete 1 and add this. Now this is not equal to, and let's refresh that and see it echoed I love this number because 1 is not equal to 2. Okay, so you can also do that for variables. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this, add a break tag here, and I'm gonna first assign 2 variables. Let's say var1 is 5 and var2 is 8. Okay, so let's say if var1 is less than, is that greater than var2 echo I love this number. Okay, so let's check that. Before we do that, let's put our semicolon here so we won't get an error. Okay, so refresh and you see I love this number. Okay, save that and refresh. Now you see nothing because variable 1, which is 5, is not greater than variable 2. But now if we happen to change it and say less than, and let's refresh that, and you see I love what? This number. Okay, so that is how the if statement works. So in our next video we'll be looking at if else statement. Now what happens if we say variable 1 is greater than variable 2? Now we check that and we discover it echoed nothing. And then now the question is, what if you wanted to echo something when the value is not true? Just give a default value or something else that happens or that it executes if the original result is not true. Okay, so we're going to be looking at if else statement in our very next video.